Chatot here, and welcome back to another top 5, guys. So, guys, you've voted again. There was 4 different types to choose from. I believe it was grass, poison, normal, and dark. Now, again, this one was a bit of a landslide because most communities voted for the dark type. So we're going a bit evil type in Japan. So we're going a little bit dark today. So, as per normal, guys, I'm going to just employ one of these. This is just my opinion, guys. If the Pokemon you like isn't in this list, don't worry. It doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like it. It just means that it's just not in my top 5. As per normal as well, there are no legendaries in this list or mythicals. There are no Eeveelutions in this list, and there are no starters or anything like that in the list. So they will have all their own separate ones, and we will be going through all the specials and things like that shortly. But without further ado, guys, we'll go and get on with the top 5, shall we? And before we start, there are links if there's any types you've missed as well in the description below. Anyway, we'll get on to number 5. Number 5. Now, number 5 is here mainly for respect, just because it annoys me, but it annoys me enough to go onto this list, and that is Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is annoying. Mandibuzz is really annoying. Now, the reason it's on this list, like I said, is because of mutual respect. I like the design of this bird. I like the concept. Obviously, come on, there's going to be a couple of flying types maybe here, there, and everywhere, because obviously there's going to be a dark flying type here, there, and everywhere, because it wouldn't be a top 5 list from Chatot if there wasn't. But the reason I like it, I like how the dark type goes into this mon, because obviously it's based on like a vulture type bird, so obviously it's going to be a bit dark because it's wearing its prey's bones. I like its Pokedex entry, especially in like the newer games where it's even like naming its prey, as in Cubone. It wears Cubone bones. That's a bit dark, haha, hence the typing. But the reason it's on this list is mainly, like I said, for respect. Now, it's on the list because I haven't really seen it in the anime. I haven't really used it much myself, but it's because I've been against it. It's because of the competitive side that it's on here. It is bulky. It is a very bulky defogger, and it is an actual pain to get rid of. There isn't, because of its recovery with Roost, it usually has a rocky helmet on it, so it's a pain to get rid of on the physical stuff. Now, there's a particular player who used to use this mon a lot. I believe he still does, and it's a pain every time he uses this. And you know who you are. And every time I see this thing, it makes me cry. Stop it. But this is the reason Mandibuzz is on the list, and every time it cringes, but I'm hoping with some mutual respect it might show me some loves and actually might keel over. But I sincerely doubt it. Anyway, enough of me ranting. Let's move on to number 4, shall we? Number 4. Now, number 4, it's mainly here for a design aspect more than anything else. I just love the design so much, but it couldn't have been any higher because there isn't really much more about it. I just love its design so much. And this is Hydreigon. Hydreigon is such a cool looking dark dragon type. I mean, look at it. It's so pretty. Look at it. I'm just going to tilt my head so you can see it. But look at that dangerous thing. It's obviously based off mythical legend. There is like a dragon, I can't remember what it's called now, but it was in like Greek mythology. It had, I think it's not Cerberus, that's a dog. I can't remember what it's called. It's the Hydra. The Hydra, that's what it was called. But it didn't have 3, originally in its original myth, it had 3 heads, and then every time you cut one off, another one grew in its place. That's, I think, where it came from. And also the names of its evolutions. I love its little cute little evolutions as well. It sort of goes off the German numbers of 1, 2. I can't speak German, unfortunately, so I do apologise if I butchered your language. but it is based off that. And I just think its design is really cool. I like how they went off the mythology, the Greek mythology of the Hydra. I like that kind of backstory. I wish I have seen it in battle. It is a pain to get rid of, but once you hit it in the right place, it will go down. And I think I should use it more often in competitive. But I just think it's a really cool one, and it deserves a place on this list. Anyway, we're going to go and move on to number 3. Number three is on here for a couple of different little reasons, which is why it's only number 3 rather than number 2 or 1. I believe it's a Gen 4 Pokemon. I want to say it's a Gen 4 Pokemon. And this is Honchkrow. Honchkrow, I like. Honchkrow, I really like. It's really cool. It's got some access to some really cool moves competitive-wise, and that's where I've mainly used it in competitive. Haven't used it lots, but like I say, it's here for many little different bits. And the other reason is I like its little evolution. I like Murkrow. I've always liked Murkrow. Murkrow has always been this cheeky little jackdaw-y thing, which, if you don't know, that is a type of crow. It is this type of crow. It is a very small little crow. It usually goes in groups, in flocks of murders. I know that's even freakier. Groups of crow are called murders. Lovely. If that doesn't add dark to the dark type, I don't know what does. But I just love how it sort of grows like a proper like gangster look as well. I love its design. Its shiny is pretty damn cool. I like the shiny as well. I haven't really seen it much in the anime. I've seen Murkrow a lot in the anime over the years, but I haven't really seen Honchkrow. Again, I can use Honchkrow. It's not the best mon in competitive, but it can put in work. You can use it as a defogger, but most people put like Soccer Punch and stuff like that on it for a priority move, for something a bit quick. That's really why Honchkrow is here. It's for like different little bits here, there and everywhere. And I couldn't really not put it on the list. Number 2. Number 2, I like, again, little bits here, there and everywhere. I believe it's a Gen 4 Pokemon. I could be wrong. It could be Gen 4, could be Gen 5 actually. Off the top of my head, I always get those two mixed up. So, this is Zoroark. Zoroark I really do like, and Zoro I like as well. The shinies are lovely. I love their design. But the thing I really like is their little quirky abilities of being disguised as something else, and it gets me every time I battle one. Every single time it gets me. I never cog on until you hit it. You don't know whether it's the actual Pokemon in someone else's party or it's one of these guys. It's really annoying. And you think, does that Pokemon learn that move? And you're like, no, it's because it's disguised. It's a Zoroark. And that what gets me. It makes me laugh every single time. I loved them in the anime movie. I cried a little bit, nearly. Tiny tear in that movie. I just think they're really, really cool mons. They just ooze dark type. They really ooze dark type because they're mischief. And I just like the whole like being disguised as something else thing. That's kind of quirky. It's annoying, but it's quirky, and I just think I couldn't not put it on the list for that really. And that is why Zoroark and Zoro are my number 2. Now, before we get on to number 1, guys, what is your favourite dark type? Have I missed anything? Like I say, do you disagree with my list so far? Why don't you comment down in the description below? Also, guys, like I say, if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know exactly when the next top 5 is coming out. And also, don't worry, there will be a poll for the next one as well, so you guys can vote in for your next favourite type that you want to see. Anyway, guys, if you haven't done enough, as per normal, and I will move on to my number 1 spot. Number 1. Now, number 1, I thought of this straight away. And it's because I've used it a bit. Haven't used its Mega, but I've used it a bit. I've used it in-game more than I have competitively. I've just used it in general. I've seen it in the movies. I really like this mon because this mon has got attitude. It screams it. And that is Absol. Absol, I love. I love its design. It's based on the yin and yang symbol, which I'll just show just quickly. The yin and yang symbol is always the balance between light and dark. It is a dark type mainly, but it is the balance between light and dark. It basically symbolises that everybody who is supposedly a villain or evil has a little bit of good in them. Anybody who is supposedly the hero or person who is good always has a little bit of a dark side in them. It shows that they both have balance. It's a really nice method. There's a whole story about it, but I won't get into that. But that is what it's mainly about, and you can see it in its face with the little slashes that go around. It's so cool. I love that concept in it. I really do. Gen 3 mon as well. Another Gen 3 mon that's at the top. I love it's, like I say, I love it in the movies. A lot of Pokemon trainers have had this in the movie. The way it acts, it is fierce, but it can be kind and cuddly and cute. Its shiny is awesome. Its mega is beautiful with the little wings that come up and everything, showing more of like the lighter side of it. So like the normal side is more dark, and then like when it mega evolves, it shows its like wings and everything. I think that's really cool. I've used it a little bit. I've used it quite much, a lot in Gen 3. This is like years ago. I've barely used it much to date. But back when I was playing through Ruby, I used it a lot. I loved using Absol. I used it a couple of times over with False Life. It was my go-to to go and hunt the legendaries, because what I used to do, because I wasn't really a competitive player back then, I would try and stuff legendaries in like the smallest, like lower capture rate ball that I possibly could, and I would use False Swipe on this to get things, well, not False Swipe, but I would use this in particular to get the job done, and it usually did, and it was such a reliable one. I can't remember what I used to. I didn't really nickname my mons then, so I just call it Absol. I think I used to call them Abby occasionally, like for short, but it was a really good go-to mon, and there's so many other reasons why I love using it. I think I might try and use the Mega a little bit more, just for a bit of fun. But yeah, then maybe that should be for the future, and that's why it's number 1, guys. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the top 5 dark types. What was your favourite dark type? What is your top 5 list? Why don't you write it in the comments down below? Also, guys, like I said earlier, there will be another poll for you guys to decide what the next type is. There will be hopefully another one as well to decide what another special is going to be, because it's about time we had another one of those, so you guys can decide like what you want to see. Also, guys, like I say, if you haven't already, if you haven't seen your type, why don't you have a look in the link description below, because all the types will be linked in the description, as well as why don't you go and check out our current playthroughs, our Nuzlocks, as well as the live streams and battle videos as well. There's plenty of stuff for you guys to check out, as well as some random guest games and some Minecraft stuff as well. Anyway, guys, I've chatted on enough as per normal, and I will see you in the next top 5. But remember, guys, chat on!